Welcome to Epic Experiences. I'm your host, Kristen Skillern, where we encourage people and inspire communities. You may not think you have something epic to share, but everybody does. Every experience, every interaction, every relationship is epic. Welcome everybody to Epic Experiences. I'm your host, Kristen Skillern. EPIC is an acronym. I've been told to tell folks to find me. It's an acronym, E.P.I.C. It stands for Encouraging People, Inspiring Communities. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Check out all our other videos. If you are listening on Apple or Spotify, also welcome. I thank you for choosing to listen to Epic Experiences and to just kind of connect with either myself or myself and a guest to just realize that you're not alone, and that we talk about some things that are not uncommon. You know, we try to hit topics and things that happen with people that when you share out of your experience, you find out that you don't live in a silo and that you are not alone in this world. You can glean something from somebody else's experience that you can take for yourself. And so today, to my right, so if y'all watched the last episode, my cheeks was hurting because my husband was here. This time, I'm like super extra proud because this is my daughter. This is Kristen. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. I told y'all her name already, but go ahead, introduce yourself.
My name is Kristen. This is my mother, like she said. My name is Kristen Skillern. And yeah, I'm ready to engage in this podcast today.
Oh, okay. So what do you do? Who are you? Like, how old are you? Tell give us a little bit of information. Now, you ain't got to tell us all your business, but just a little bit.
I'm 20 years old. I'm in barber school. I've been cutting hair for about like two years now.
It's been two years? Okay.
Yeah, year and a half, 2 years.
Okay. What's your names on Instagram? Like, get all that
out.
Oh,
yeah. My ad on Instagram is K-Can Blade.
With a K. K-A-Y.
K-A-N. K-A-Y-K-A-N. B-L-A-D-E. And yeah, the proof is in the name.
The proof is in the name. Okay, I ain't mad at it. I know I'm her mother, but just go and look. I ain't gonna say nothing else. Just go look, check out her work. And you know, she always say, if you're looking for a barber, DM me. So I'll put that out there. And so today, like this invitation was just kind of like organic. We were at home just talking, and I've said so many times, but I always bring it up. I'm an educator, and so the majority of my experience has been in middle school. And so in middle school, I pick up on middle school young people terms. Now, if I come home and say the young people term, you're right. See the eyebrow, she don't like that too much because it's like, that's weird, man. Why are you saying that? But
stick to your generation.
I know, stick to my generation, but it's cool. I gotta connect with the young people, you know. And if I say it at school, it's just as weird to them. But anyway, so we were at home just talking, and Krista was sharing something that happened between her and somebody else. And she was just, you know, telling me the whole full story and what did she say and what that other person say, whatever. And then she said this phrase. You say it, because if I say it, it's going to weird you out. What did you say?
She blew me.
So say it louder. Say it louder again.
She blew me.
Yeah.
She irritated me.
Yeah. So she blew me. So I've heard that. I can't even count. If I had a nickel for how many times I heard, man, you blowing me. Stop blowing me. She blew me. I could retire early. And so when she said that, it made me think of a video I saw, you know, on a reel or story or something like that. And it was an interaction between, it looked like it was somebody was in some sort of class, and a student was telling a story to the facilitator, and the person said, you know, they were saying this and this and that, and they just really pushed my buttons and got me upset. And so that's the story the person was telling on this reel. The facilitator goes back to the person and says, I hear you. And it's not so much about them pushing your buttons. It's more about, why do you have this button to be pushed? And so that, and then it kind of like faded out, and it was an advertisement for something. I don't know what it was. But when Kristen said she blew me, it took me back to that reel that I saw. And so then I asked her that question. I said, you know, why? Like, and I just went through a bunch of questions. I said, is this person your family? Would you say?
No.
Do you see this person outside of that situation?
No.
Are you going to, befriend them anytime soon?
No.
No. And so it's like, if the answers to these questions are no, how can somebody who is a non-factor blow you? And so that just really sparked a conversation between us. And I was like, you got to come on the podcast, talk about this. We got to get this out, because Kristen may say she blew me, or young people in her generation, even some people my age say it, and they probably shouldn't, because I'm sure it sounds odd. I'm 50. I shouldn't be walking around talking about, man, she blew me. Not at all. But we, in my generation, we do have, we get irritated. We, our buttons get pushed. We get triggered. All of those things. But now, let's get to the root of that, and from a young person's perspective, like, why is that? What happens? What does it mean? Where did that start? How do you not get blown? And I think I said to you, by the time you get my age, ain't gonna be nothing left. You're gonna be blown away. Like, if you keep getting blue every time you turn around. And so I just want to unpack with you, like, just that phrase and that term, and, and really allow you to vent a little bit. And we ain't gonna use no names or nothing like that, but, like, what blows you? Like, just give some examples of that.
Repeated questions. Like, if I answer your question the first time, and like you have the same question but in different words, I just answered your question.
Okay,
what else?
That's one.
Bad drivers.
So how do you make it?
Like mother, like daughter.
Excuse me, I'm sorry? What?
You have a little bit of irritation with bad drivers as well.
We're not talking about me.
Okay.
I don't know how we even got here. I feel exposed. Wait a minute. I am a pleasant driver. 10 and 2, eyes forward all the time. Continue.
Zoom in on that.
Net number 3.
Bad drivers. Let's see. So this is something that's been occurring at school lately. Somebody asked to use something of mine and not putting it back where they got it from, or returning it back to me when they done with it. So then it's just not floating around the school, but it's not where it's supposed to be. So
I'm gonna tell you, somebody's gonna watch this. Somebody who shares a space with us, and they're gonna hear your number 3. Look at your face. This is an insider right now. So good. Okay, so we're gonna stop at 3. We're gonna stop there.
Okay, those are my top 3. Yes.
Okay, so we got repeated questions, especially when you've answered the question. So you're not ignoring anybody, but you're asking me the same question over and over again. 2, bad drivers. And 3, somebody brought something and doesn't return it. And it's just like, you haven't respected my stuff. So if you think about those things, and when we say the word, like, or the phrase, they blew me, or this blows me, you think about something that blows up, it could be catastrophic. Dynamite blows up things, and it's blown to smithereens. It's not there anymore. It's damaged. It's not like
that's how my attitude will feel towards that person.
Okay. And so those 3 things that you mentioned, in the grand scheme of life, you just saying them doesn't feel like it should be a tick boom situation. And so
it's like a fire to a balloon, basically.
Say that again.
Like a fire to a balloon, like it was gonna happen anyways. Like
I kind of like that. Yeah. Like, it's something that was going to happen. So, like, why are you giving it that much of your energy?
Yep.
Okay. So then, why do you think something that let's just stick with? I'm not gonna go with drivers, because sometimes on the road, you just wonder what is going on with people, and that is something that can take a life of its own and really take up the rest of the podcast. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, because it's like, who gave you your life?
Yeah. So that because especially if it's gonna cause some kind of danger, like that can evoke an emotion in you that will make you go,
very irrational.
Yes, it can. So we're gonna leave that one alone. But let's go with actually let's talk about this one situation in particular you shared with me. And we kind of, after you shared the story with me, you asked me like, hey, do you think I handled that the right way? And then I always come back with like 5-6 questions. Yeah. They're not repeated questions, but they're questions that help you kind of process and unpack. The one situation you shared with me that you didn't list this one, but it's gonna be an honorable mention. Somebody telling you something that you already know. Remember you told me that? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I asked you, why did that bother you? Like, you said, how do I handle it?
Right, because it didn't really bother me, but I didn't want him to feel like I was just brushing him off.
Right. And so we kind of unpacked that it could come from a sense like pride. Like, I don't want somebody to think I don't know anything.
Yeah, right.
So it's like that's rooted in pride. Like, I don't want to look or feel like I know what I'm doing. And I want people to know I know what I'm doing. So if you tell me to do something I already know, I feel like you feel
like you think I don't know anything.
Yes. And it's not that, because that person's job is to instruct. Right. So we're going to leave it there. So for this, let's take the first one. Repeated questions. Mm-hmm. Like, why does that blow you? Not why does it just like, this really gets on my nerves, but why does it tick, tick, why does it blow you if somebody repeated questions?
I would say because, but I think it's because I don't really like repeating myself a lot, and maybe that's where it stems from. So like the repetition but it's like you're looking for another answer, but like that was the answer that I had at that moment. So
okay, so you think that if they rephrase it,
that they think that they'll get a different answer
because maybe they don't like your answer.
Probably, but that was my answer.
Okay. All right. So that's number 1. If we go to number 3 with the thing of somebody. Now this is kind of a softball question, because if somebody brought something and don't give it back, that can irritate you. But we're talking about being blown. Like, this blew me. Mm-hmm. So why does that take you to that level?
Because it's my stuff. Like I just have, like, I know what I have, and especially if I spend my money on it, I want it back where it was, or how it was, or whatever. Like, so say this one instance at school, somebody had like a little item of mine, but I was in emotion, like I wasn't paying attention to him take it or whatever, but he can use it, but I didn't pay attention to him taking it because I was doing what I was doing, and I thought that what he had was his. I didn't know it was mine. So later on, I'm looking for that item. I can't find it. So I asked who had it, who I thought the item was his. I'm like, let me see your such and such. He's like, oh, that was yours. And so I'm like, what you mean that was mine? I don't remember you. I don't remember saying you could use it, or something like that. And then he was like, oh, that was yours. So I'm like, okay, well, where is it at? He's scrambling looking for it. So then I'm like, okay, it was mine. Where'd you put it? So he's scrambling. Now I'm scrambling. I'm looking in your stuff. I'm looking at everybody's stuff, because where is it? But somebody else ended up having it because they took it from him and they used it too. So yeah, it's just like that. Not like a little borrow and, oh yeah, you forgot to give it to me, I'm not gonna blow up over that. But it's just like that, like something that just slips your mind, like when you
because it ended up at a second person's,
right? And I didn't even know it went to the first person. Yeah. So like it was, yeah.
So then for that instance, do you feel it's rooted in respect at all? Like you're not respecting my stuff?
Yeah.
Would you say that?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, you're not respecting my stuff, and like you don't have how do I word it? You don't have the care. You obviously didn't care because it wasn't yours, so you don't have the care enough to even be mindful of where you even put it. So that's where that blow blow up would come from. Not just a little, not just a somebody forget. Like if it's still at your station, and you forgot to give it to me.
You're like, oh, okay.
Right, I just walk over. Hey, you still got this? Right, yeah. Like, hey, you still got my my such and such? Oh yeah, I forgot to give it to you. Oh, cool. But that instance, I did blow up there because I'm panicking.
So my question is, did you have a client waiting?
Yes.
Okay. Which adds an extra layer.
Yes.
Because this for although you're at the barber school, people's time is still important.
Yeah, very much.
So for you, you're like, okay, because in your time you want to maximize as many. I'm learning terminology. You want to get as many reps in during the time that you're on the floor.
Yep.
And so your mind is just racing, and you're like, oh my goodness, time is going, and so you're just compounding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was just my mind was
right. So then you get blown.
Yes.
In that moment.
Yeah.
So so we got one is so respect, like, hey, if I've answered the question, respect what I say and don't ask me again, because I gave you my answer.
Right.
And it was clear. Now, if you didn't understand what I said, ask a follow-up, but don't ask the same question thinking you're going to get a different answer. 1. Number 3, respect my stuff. The care/respect of something that belonged to me. So I'm seeing a trend here. The drivers, you could never pin that. Folk just crazy. Yeah. Like that's gonna live on its own.
That's like a, what do they say? A needle in a haystack, like this.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's a big.
Yeah, not a needle in a haystack, but it's just common. Like people.
Water under the bridge, maybe.
Maybe that's it. I like that one. Okay, that works better. Because needle in a haystack means you can't find it. Bad drivers are not a needle in a haystack.
Right.
They come a dime a dozen. If we gonna use all these little colloquialisms like that, there's a lot more.
License in 2020 and they have to do the driving course on the street.
Say that again.
It's the people in 2020 that got their license and didn't have to do the driving course on the street. I didn't either, but I know how to drive. So
yeah, and COVID. That was
COVID they were just passing out the license. That's these crazy drivers. That's what that is.
If you don't know, we about to have a squirrel moment, because we just about to divert off.
Right.
During COVID, to get your driver's license, because of COVID, a couple things happened. I was with her when she got her driver's license in 2020.
And I took the right precautions to know how to drive, to make sure I
went to driving school, into car driving, everything.
All the right precautions.
Yes. We get there for her to take her license. 2 things happen. 1, usually the deputy registrar is in the passenger seat of the car. Hi, I was sworn in as the deputy registrar for the day. They told me sit there, eyes forward, don't say nothing, if you talk to her, she fails.
But how would they even know that you were talking to me?
Because here's why. When did you take your license? It was cold outside. I remember that.
It was 2021. Like, what? January.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we ended January.
Yeah.
Because we had to do all the driving during the month of January and January.
Yep.
We had to roll all the windows down in the car because the actual deputy registrar was standing outside of the car watching us do the maneuverability in the parking lot of the BMV. So I'm not, and if you got your license or you know we're not telling one piece of a lie. So I'm sitting in the passenger, I solemnly do swear, they didn't do that, but basically I was, anointed as the deputy. So I'm sitting there, Chris is in the driver's seat, and I'm just like stiff as a board, like don't even look like I'm looking at her, giving her any kind of anything. And this person is standing outside the car, basically telling us where to go. Go to that stop sign and turn left. We had to make she had to make like a couple lefts, and then they had the cone set up, and she had to do maneuverability. So the person basically maneuvered her through the parking lot, through these makeshift stop signs to get her to the maneuverability, and then told her to go either left or right of the cone, and then the rest is history. She got her license. Yep. But again, that was so easy is an understatement.
Especially if you knew what you were doing, yeah, you took the right precautions, yeah. But I feel like some people just got passed along.
Just got passed along because it was the easiest, craziest process,
easiest you're gonna get your license
ever experienced in my life. I'm sitting here like, say what now? What are we doing?
I'm thinking I was because in the driving school, I'm driving on the street. So I'm like,
and normally you do.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, we going up to the B&B. Okay, I'm about to drive on the street. I'm ready to drive on the street.
Nah.
No, we about to take this little kitty obstacle with the car, and basically I'm gonna get my license.
It was wild. It was so wild. But anyway, so that's what she said. You got your license. These drivers getting their license during 2020 during COVID.
Yeah,
that was the wildest thing ever. But we're back. We're gonna leave that category out. But when things are rooted in respect / disrespect, and because we're human, it does rise something up in us. Because if you feel disrespected, you're like, oh, thank you, disrespect me again.
Right. Exactly.
I appreciate it so much. I love being disrespected. Says nobody ever. Thank you. However, when it happens, what's your level? Do you have like you mentioned that, hey, if they just borrowed it and give it back, I'm gonna go get it. No harm, no foul. I'm not gonna have a fit. But is it like I have 0 through 5? If the 0 is like right now, chill, super chill, ain't nothing going on. We just talking. To 5, which is the
blown up.
Yeah, I'm completely blue, smithereens, tick tick, kablooey. It's like gone. How fast do you get to 5? Because that's really the question. Because everybody has a 5. Like, there are instances where you absolutely should invoke 5. Maybe not a long time, but you can get to 5. The question is, how long does it take you to get to 5? On an average, and be honest.
Being older, well, not because I'm only 20, so older than when I. How can I put this? So
compared to like middle school or high school.
Yeah, compared to like in middle school and high school now, I rarely get to a 5 because like you and Dad, talks. I remember when I used to get in trouble at school, and she would tell me, your response is your responsibility. And all I would be doing is just talking. I would be getting in trouble for talking,
But then getting in trouble for talking.
But then getting smart and getting blue with the teacher because I'm talking while she talking. But I'm talking like, I don't know. I was a kid, so it was just.
But it says every child. Like no child thinks they should get in trouble for talking in school. Facts.
Man, but I would say I rarely get to a 5. But how long does it take me to get to a 5? Now I would say. Like, you mean like a time?
I mean, like, do you skip levels? Like, okay, I'm gonna go from 0 to 1 to skipping from at rest to 5.
Yes,
like that part. That's what I mean.
Yeah, sometimes I do.
But I'm saying, like, okay, so you comparing to, and I know developmentally, middle school and high school, so it should be fewer times.
Yeah.
Like, it should be. If you like, oh, every other day I'm wilding at the Dollar Tree. No. But there are some people that wild at the Dollar Tree. Like,
those are called crash outs in this day and age.
There's a name for that?
Yeah, crash outs.
Who knew?
You a crash out.
You a crash out meaning like that's just your mode. That's what you do.
Yeah, like you crashing out.
Because that's your normal reaction. You learn something new, and y'all probably know this already. My demographic, maybe not. Y'all just learned this. Then she knows this, and her people know. I had no idea. I mean, because I see it, being out,
like just the people that go from like you just said, from 0 to 5, like every other day. That's the crash out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, that's not good.
Yeah, no.
And so, when do you remember this happening? Like
when you first getting irritated?
Yeah, and irritated, and I think when you were in middle school, like, blue wasn't the word. It's evolved, the terminology, but if you could go back and just compare now to then, like, when did this start for you? Because there are some children that are just, like, I was about to tell a lie in front of my kid, hold on, because I was about to say, I don't really wild out too much, and for the most part, in public, I don't, but I have time, we all do, let's just be clear. But I will say, like, as far as a student, in school or whatever, I'm mild mannered. And there are some, kids that are just, Mom, they get upset, but they don't get blue. or whatever. So if you could compare that time, like when did you see this starting to happen?
So the first time I really got blue, I would say, and I remember this like clear as day. This was 3rd grade.
Huh?
Yes, third grade.
Do I know what you about to say?
You probably do, but so it was this one time. It was like in 3rd grade, in my 3rd grade class, we had like these different stations around the classroom. So you was either on the computers, or you were on the reading carpet reading, of course, or you were like doing like these math numbers on like with a teacher, or it would be free time basically. So, but it'd be different stations around the room. So I was on the computer. And like, you know, back in the day, they had them wired headphones, the little skinny headphones that you would plug into the computer. You could hear your computer. So, so I was on the computer or whatever, and we switched stations. I think we would switch stations like every 10 minutes. So I was on the station, and then the computer station, and then this girl came to the computer station next, and I honestly feel like what she lied on me about, she did it. So, what happened? So we switched stations or whatever. She gets to the computer station, and then when we switch stations again, she tells the teacher that like some way somehow all those headphones were tangled up into a ball. So for some way somehow, I don't know, but she told the teacher that it was me. And the next day was sunglasses day, and I was told that I couldn't wear my sunglasses on sunglasses day. And I'm in 3rd grade. You telling the 3rd grader that they can't wear their sunglasses on sunglasses day? I was.
And everybody gonna have on their sunglasses.
And you the only one. I was the only one that couldn't wear my sunglasses. I was blue at that girl. Yeah, she had me tight. Cause I'm literally like, I had nothing to do with that. Like,
and it was 2 stations ago.
But
somebody didn't have any. That wasn't what I was thinking.
And I feel like, cause now I feel like I defend myself and I explain myself very well, to where I probably would have, you not telling me I did that basically. But I'm a kid. I'm probably like, well, did I do it? Like, I'm in 3rd grade.
You questioning your own.
Right. I'm like, and I didn't even get to wear my sunglasses. You know about that?
I don't. This is not.
If I say the names, you probably will remember.
Yeah, I probably didn't, cause I don't remember that. Well, I mean, it's been so long ago, but anyway.
Right.
But taking it back there to like how,
and I feel like since I was new to the school,
that part,
because I had just started going there in 3rd grade, so
yeah.
I feel like I'm being picked on by the teacher and the student,
new kid,
right? It was messing with me.
I'm so sorry.
Man, like,
you know, I'll pull up. You should tell me. I'll pull up to the school. I had pulled up. Sorry, it's not about me.
No, but I remember that one time.
Yeah, it's not about me.
We'll be on this boy for two hours.
Cut next.
Right.
Sorry. Anyway. I was blue that day. It was
like, right. As you should have done.
Yeah, I should have. Anyway, and parents like that, you know, sometimes you gotta put, I'm a teacher. If I ever done anything and a parent had to pull up on me, I may have deserved it. And I don't think a parent ever pulled up on me though, because as a mom, I knew I don't want nobody to pull up on me.
Right.
But
and as an educator, you know you didn't want nobody to pull up on you.
Yeah, facts. Like, I mean, as a mom, like, I knew how I had been to make me pull up on somebody, so I knew no teacher was ever harmed in a pull up of mine, but
you know,
they were just gathered. I'm a good gatherer. I'm a good gatherer. Gathered. Get you together real quick.
Yeah, quickly
and succinctly, nice and neat package, and gonna send you on your way. That's what we have. Anyway, and so in that moment, or in those moments, not from like 3rd grade on, do you feel like it intensified? Like you got, if things didn't go your way or something, like that was a false accusation like that.
Right.
But then other instances, do you feel like you just leaned more into the switch being flipped? I'm gonna skip steps, and I'm gonna go from 0 to 5 as you age. Do you think that it got more and more intense quickly?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. And so why do you think that? Like, do you think you were justified in it? Like, this is just how I am, or this is what I choose to do, or like some of your, you know, if you can remember some of your reasonings why like that 0 to 5 just went so quick.
I think it was because I wouldn't be thinking at all. I wouldn't think about what consequences and the responsibilities. I wouldn't be thinking at all. So I would just act off my emotions, and that's something that I know about myself because I act off my emotions a lot. But I'm working on. I'm definitely. I would say now, I definitely like think now before I either do or say, because I'm not knowing what that can do to somebody else.
We gonna get to that later, like comparing that and this, or then and now, because back then, no. You know, being a child, and some of that is, I don't know. I don't see around corners. I don't understand how this is going to impact my education, the classroom setting, my home life, my friendships, things like that. I don't care. Right. Or in the moment, I don't care, and then once the dust settles, it's like,
because I'm acting off my emotions. So my emotions are blown. I'm blown up. So I'm gonna say blown up things, do blown up things, but then once everything is, the fire is gone. Now I'm like, okay, girl, you didn't have to do all that, or you didn't have to say that, or you know, just like a self-reflection. But I need to do that before that 5. Yeah, exactly.
before 5, we gotta, you know, before you get 5, you kind of slow down. Yeah, and you know, in those moments, and maybe more as a younger person than now. Did you ever have to go back and apologize? Yeah. Like to maybe friends, or even like, I don't know about teachers too much. I don't know if you was too keen on apologizing to teachers. And if you did, I didn't know about it.
I think I did apologize to this one building stuff, because I did not like him, and then like one day he was just like, because the class used to be so like nobody really liked him, so every time he was a sub, everybody would just act out. And this is like 7th grade, so 7th graders, and not like, and when you know when we got a sub, when kids hear sub,
it's turn up.
Yeah,
completely.
Automatically.
And I found out I subbed the first, before I got my official first teaching job. I subbed.
Man, teachers,
listen to me.
You hear sub.
Hey. Until I showed up, let me tell you what you're not gonna do with me as your sub. I had to learn that though. But my skin got real thick. By the time I got my first year, I'm like, I done subbed all in the best parts of Cleveland. So y'all ain't gonna hurt me with your whatever. You better get your life together. But I hear what you're saying.
I think I had to apologize to a sub because I did too much.
You contributed to the
just a little bit, just a smidge.
But having that thought process, like it's really taking accountability of your part in whatever the thing is. Right. And it's never. I never want to come off like it's an exercise in perfection and being perfect, because at every stage, you know, every decade, every year of your life, you know, you said self-reflection. You, even me at 50, reflecting and like, how can I get better? Or ooh, this is a sore spot. How do I fix it? How you know, move from this and just be a better individual. Whether you're in relationship with folks or you've done something or whatever, but really having that accountability and self-reflection so that you try not to do it again. You don't want to do it again.
Right. Because it's a thing that they say at school. Take everything professional and not personal. And I apply that to even like outside of being a business wise. Take something professional rather than personal, because you don't know what that person may be going through or how they're feeling. Most of the time people are projecting. They're spewing what they feel onto you, trying to manipulate you into feeling how they feel, and it's you know, just sometimes you just really got to step back and think about stuff.
You can remove yourself too.
Yeah,
we getting into strategies, but that's good to, especially at 20, because it's you know, and I can say just people, period, at different steps of their life, but the sooner you get it, the better. Because, and I said this last episode, sometimes you can't unknow things. And that's just in life, period. I ain't come up with nothing fancy or new, but once you know something, then you're responsible for it. Like once you know that you operate out of your emotions, you're responsible for that. Now, if somebody's claim they don't know it, well, they lying to themselves.
Exactly.
You know, if you a pop off king or pop off queen, like that's what it was for me. Like pop off, the old blown blue, whatever. I pop off. Like you can. You know that about yourself.
That's delusion to people that don't want to admit it.
Yeah, and so that's scary. And so when you run into folks like that, it's like run away. You run into them, then run away because it's about to be. If you go out with them, them ain't the folk you go out with because you're gonna be fighting with somebody. And I'm not a fighter. Listen, I will leave you where you stand. I'm not fighting because you in there running your mouth. That never.
Yeah.
Keep your circle small and consistent. Keep it small and consistent. And so knowing that about yourself, I know that I operate out of my emotions. Like I know that I had to take accountability. I know that about myself. And so once you know that, how do you manage that? Or how are you managing that? Because we're live in the middle of all this. Right. But ain't nobody has arrived. It was like, oh, I'm happy all the time. Nothing ever bothers me. So again, what you say? Delusional?
Yeah,
you delusional. You run around here. That means you're ignoring a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That means you're standing in the ring of fire and like
you're compacting everything just deeper. And one day you gonna blow up.
Over something small.
Exactly. Yeah. That didn't need a reaction like that.
Yeah.
But so you saying how do I manage?
Yeah. How are you? Now that you know that about yourself, how are you managing it so that the 5s are minimal?
Back to it, like when I was saying, like thinking before I speak or do, that plays a big part in like me managing, my emotions. Because I mean, it's a roller coaster being in your 20s. So it's like you trying to figure out life. You got friends that's coming and going. So it's like it's just a lot of emotions going on, and like sometimes you do have to just sit and think and talk to yourself. So I think that would, and just like have time to yourself so you'll be able to get to know yourself and grow with yourself and know what you need and know what's best for you and what's not good for you. It's like basically like just sort out your life and just do pros and cons. But basically definitely thinking before I speak and do in a lot of situations.
And let's say, for instance, the thing with where my stuff is over there and you
right.
How do you come back from that? Because this is a place you go every day.
You're right.
So then how do you come back for that? Because if relationships or feelings or whatever, so how do you, because at this point I didn't slow down, I did use the word panic, I did do all these things, I got to 5. So now what do you do to kind of repair that?
So in that situation, I got back what I needed and I just finished up what I was doing. But after I finished up what I was doing, I apologized for whoever stuff I looked through. I'm like, look, I was just trying to get my stuff because I had this client. I don't like having to do extra stuff when I'm already doing a lot right here. So and I just went back and I just apologized. No, well, not really, because I didn't really offend anybody, but it was just me knowing, like, okay, I did not accuse you of stealing, but if that's how you feel,
you look through somebody's stuff without permission.
Right.
You didn't say, excuse me, would you mind? You was like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, you just went. You like, I need this because I got
exactly
somebody in the hot seat.
I just apologized and just said, like, basically trying to get them where I'm like explaining myself, like I was just trying to get my client up with, and I didn't know that what you had was mine. So I just explained myself and I just apologized. And
were they receptive to the apology?
Yeah, okay. Because they understood where I was coming from. Yeah,
and that's important. It's important to not just apologize to check a box, but it's like having understanding and agreement.
Right.
You're apologizing and they accepting your apology so that it repairs. Now, was that like the same day or the next day or?
No, the same day.
Okay.
Same day.
Because that's important too. Like in the moment, don't let a lot of time go by. Yeah, because then feelings get hurt and things get harbored and walls get built up and stuff like that. So that's also important. And so you mentioned a couple of few things, like having time to, especially now, having time to yourself so you can kind of reflect, have pros and cons. We talked about apologizing. And so in the midst of all of this, just navigating, because you're navigating a lot. You in school, you working, like, you're at home with us. There's a lot of dynamics going on with you, like right now at 20 years old. Like, you are trying to figure it out. You're really trying to set some goals and some foundations for yourself, and trying to move forward with that part. And in the midst of it, managing emotions, because things happen that things don't always go your way.
Yeah.
Even when you planning to do stuff, monkey wrenches come into the program, you move, you're like, oh, I thought I was going to do this, but that happened.
Yeah.
A client cancels or don't show up. Like, a lot of that happens.
I think I meant, okay, back to when you were asking me my top 3.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm excuse the bad drivers, but number 2.
You're going to replace it?
Yes, I'm replacing that with, like I said, having to do something. Like when I plan to do something, and then something else get thrown in the mix, that's going to blow.
Plans get thrown off?
Or like, say if I plan to do something by this time, and I'm going with somebody else, or they slowing me down, like,
okay.
now I'm blown. So yeah, that's definitely one of my top 3s.
Okay. Yeah. But and those 3 things are things that are going to continuously happen.
Yeah.
Throughout your entire life.
And I have to learn to like I said, I have to learn to control my emotions and how I react, because my reaction is my responsibility.
It is.
She's been telling me that since
I learned it in Bible study class over 10 years ago.
Yeah,
that's where I learned it from.
I think I was in like 2nd grade.
No. Hold on. 10 years, 12. How many years ago? It was a long time ago. I learned it. This is. It might be 15. Maybe it was 2nd grade. It was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It might have been 2nd grade for you. Yeah. So that was.
I used to get in trouble for talking a lot. I used to talk. I mean.
Got it
Look at my mama.
Got it honest. I'm sorry. I gave it a talking. That's why I understood, because I got in trouble for talking. That's what I got in trouble for. Great student, but I talked a lot, and I got in trouble for talking all the time. My mother got phone calls. I knew I was getting in trouble because she knew the teacher wasn't lying, because I talk
too much.
I talk a lot, but it has served me well.
Right.
It serves me well. I talk for a living. I'm in education. That's why I got a whole podcast situation. Like
Right.
but it serves me well.
In the long run.
In the long run, once you learn how to manage it, that's the thing. It's like it's just the channel. You gotta channel it. And so channeling your emotions is super important. And I remember I tried to get you to journal. What about your journal? I was like, you got a journal.
I still use it.
Oh,
but I don't, not as much. Well, because I used it more when I was away at school. But now, since I'll be on the go. But on the weekends, like when I have that me time, I just sit and write about my day, or how I'm feeling.
Yeah. It's good though. It's good because it gets. One of my really good friends, who's friend to the podcast, the TPK way, Tiffany Pons, Kimbrough, she gave me a very good nugget this week. She said, there's opinions and there's perspective. And perspectives have experience. Otherwise, it's just an opinion. And so when you said you write down how your day was and all of that and the things that you learn, you are literally building perspective on things. If you've never experienced it before, it's an opinion. I can say, I believe this, I think that, because you don't have any experience with it.
Right.
But the thing that we're talking about, like, you have a perspective about being blown. Because going back to 3rd grade, my gosh. I'm just saying, like, but that.
Leave that girl out. Find some stringy headphones.
Forgive her. We gotta forgive and move on.
Yeah, she's been forgiven.
Okay, but I know we talking about it
and forgotten. Yeah, sorry.
But making sure that we talk about this is your perspective because of the experience that you've had with this particular thing. And so knowing that energy is finite, our energy as humans is finite.
Yes.
It is not infinite. Our energy depletes. We get tired. We get, low level. We get all those things. Protecting that energy. So the thing you said about not operating out of your emotions as much as you can, like that is important, because giving your energy to something that does not serve you, you might as well just let it blow in the wind.
Right.
Because it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve anybody, for that matter. And one thing I want to point out, like do I do this? We ain't gonna talk about me, just about you. Sometimes protecting or slowing down for you looks like shut down to people outside. When you just
right,
like I'm going inward. Like I'm just quiet. I'm just because if I continue to engage, you could come out your hookup.
Right.
And so
waste that energy that didn't need to be used.
Right. I think as you get older, putting words to that is going to be important. Like, I'm not in the space to talk about this right now. Can we talk about this later? But just saying something in that moment before you just kind of dip out,
right,
that's going to serve you and the relationships that you're in with whoever, whether it's a coworker, somebody at school right now, family members, friends, relationships, is going to serve to just get you one sentence to kind of like, hey, let me express to you, because if you walk away, it's like, hey, I'm okay, this is about to blow me, let me just go. If you walk away without any kind of anything, it leaves it open for the person on the receiving end to be like, oh, what's wrong with her? Well, why, and then it just
then it's gonna create
tension and all that junk, as opposed to you just saying, can we talk about this? Like, I'm not in a good head. Whatever it is, however you say it, I always say your own voice and personality.
Yeah.
You're not gonna say it like me, and I'm not gonna say it like you, but communicate that so that you like, okay, we need to come back to this, because I feel like I can't fully talk about it right now, or whatever that is. That's just important. That just came to my head right now, but that's important as you age, and then it teaches people that I care about this, but I ain't ready to talk about this right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So lets them know that, hey, I value this, but I need to circle back a little bit later on.
Yeah, because
if we do it now, it ain't gonna be good.
Ain't gonna be too pretty.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good. And so, and then things just they spiral.
Yeah.
Situation. And so okay, you went way on back to 3rd grade. You say you have fewer. You got fewer 5s now. You had no nap today?
No, I actually didn't.
Right. So I peeled her away real quick to come and do this. But 5s are getting fewer. Okay, and so going back to that video I talked about at the beginning of this, how do you? Because the person said it's not about you getting triggered. It's not about you, the person pressing a button. It's about having the button to press.
Yeah.
And so, again, and you may have answered this, but just to kind of button it up real good. Use the word button, huh? How do you manage yourself in those 3? Now that we took driving out, because in all of them, it's funny how. I'm gonna table this for 1 second. Do you ever blow yourself? Like something that you do? Because all you talked about is what other people do. If you ever talk, you that, man, I blew myself.
I think I would say I blow myself after somebody that blew me down.
Wait a minute, that don't count. I mean,
but look,
okay,
because by reaction, if I know myself, I did the absolute most. Like, okay, you didn't have to do that. That'll be me, but like blowing myself, like. But I mean, like actually doing something and like blowing myself, or like say, not like blown up, like mad at myself, but like say, like I missed an exit on the freeway.
Okay.
Like you idiot. Like I'm talking to myself.
Okay.
Like just little stupid stuff like that. But like never really.
Okay.
Yeah, this is little things like that. Like I missed an exit or forgot to put my phone on the charger at night or like stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, but never
things
really,
that happen.
Normal irritating little things that.
Okay, but not to the point that it's a 5.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But I would say if I was blowing myself, like irritated with myself, probably cause I done sat back and thought about how I reacted and I didn't like it.
The self-reflection part.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. I feel it. I understand that now. So back to what I was saying, because this is a theme. Your top 3 all involve other people whom you cannot control.
Right.
I don't care who they are. I don't care if it's your own child. You cannot control your own child. Deliberate pause. So, in those situations, you're what you can control.
Right.
So, is there anything else that we haven't talked about as far as a strategy? You was like, I need some me time because I need to be figuring out who I am. You talked about you know yourself and that you operate out of your emotions. Is there any specific, strategy? Like, let's say in the moment, are you better at in the moment? Do you feel it, and have you ever turned it off? Like, ooh, it's about to get there. Let me pull back. That's happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Or
good. And you said like a strategy.
Yeah.
I left out praying. Like just stopping. Or no, like walking away, communicate like, okay, I value this, but not right now. Like, and then going and talking to the Lord. Like saying like, Lord, I know this is how I'm feeling right now, but release me from this so I can be able to communicate in a healthy way and not
fleshy. Your flesh.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or usually work emotion.
In an emotional way. And in an emotional and irrational way. So
okay,
yeah,
okay, cool. I mean that's usually in my top 1 or 2. Cause in and of myself.
Yeah, and it's like when like if I'm worrying about something, I say like, Lord, I know I'm not supposed to worry, but I am. But help me, Lord, because I know I'm not supposed to be worried, so I give it to you, and then I'll just say my prayer, and it just the Lord shows me that I'm His child. So I think that's why I've minimized my 5s, because whether or not, the Lord is always in the Lord's favor. So that's how I've been looking at stuff more recently.
Maturing right before my eyes. Oh my God, I'm having a proud mom moment.
Was you about to cry?
No.
Okay.
No, because I am a crybaby.
She's good for it.
It happens. I can't help it. I'm a ball of emotion in that way, where I just cried every little thing, in a good way. And so, if you go back to that 3rd grader, because now you big time 20, about to be 21 in a couple months. She's been claiming 21 since she turned 20. Anywho,
I am 20. I'm technically 21, and I say technically because I technically am.
Technically, you're not.
Technically, I am. It's more than half. Like my birthday
we're
is
in the
more
year.
Than
yes, this year you're going to turn 21.
Yes, I've been technically 21 since January 1st, 2024.
I'm gonna chalk that up to her generation's logic. I don't get it. I'm a math girl. You know, subtraction.
Ain't no math when you about to be 21. You 21.
Okay, that was a squirrel moment. We gonna come back. And we gonna talk about the almost 21-year-old Kristen going back to that 3rd grader, and that was maybe a different situation because you were accused of something that you did not do. So you were instead of the girl, because she lied.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take you to the 7th grader that, that was blown by the substitute. That person, that Kristen. What would you say to the younger Kristen about, like going to the 5s immediately? What you're experiencing and what you're cultivating in yourself now, how would you speak to the younger Kristen?
I think I would tell myself that, it's a time and place for everything. Cause I'm in 7th grade, so of course I'm gonna want to play all the time. So I would think it's playtime, but really, it's really serious time, and it's not time to be joking or saying little side comments or stuff like that. So I would tell myself that probably just, it's a time and place for everything, basically.
Okay.
Because I've learned that over the years that it's definitely a time and place for everything, but back then I didn't know that.
So that's why because you didn't know.
Yeah,
but
right.
knowing now, what you would tell that person, yourself.
Yeah.
Back then.
It's a time and place for everything.
Okay, it's a time and place for everything. That speaks volumes to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, is there a time and place to be blown? And if you don't have an answer, that's fine. But I just want to know, do you think that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
A time and place to be blown is when if somebody's just completely in the wrong, and you take that, you act out your emotions. But if it's as long as it's justified, anything bad is not always justified. But if I don't know, how should I put it? If something bad is directed towards you. So the saying, 2 wrongs don't make it right. It don't make it right, but it make it even.
Wait a minute.
But it make it even. It makes it even. So it's not right, but again, it's even. So if you coming at me sideways, I come back at you sideways. It's even. We even.
Okay, it's even.
But there's still nobody's in the right though. So even though it wasn't this time or place to be blown, sometimes
the young folk call that matching energy.
Yes.
Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's the principle.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we still got work to do, but it's okay. It's okay. I asked the question.
Yeah,
I asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but again, within that, still self-reflection, still fall back and be like, I understand this. So again, because it's never not going to happen again.
Right.
We're not going to sit here and pretend like, all these steps and strategies are going to be implemented perfectly every single time. No, we're human. That's just not realistic.
Exactly.
But what is realistic is, hey, I have some tools in my tool belt that I can implement. I know this about myself, so I can safeguard and act accordingly so that I do not put myself in situations where I have to go to 5.
Mm-hmm. And that's the implementing part is where I'm really working. That's because I know, I know,
Mm-hmm.
but it's that implementing part in me, and it's that thinking part. So where it's just, I don't need to go to this 5. I don't need to go to 5. But how I'm feeling right now, I want to go to a 5. So it's just that constant battle.
Mm-hmm.
It's the back and forth. And sometimes the person saying go to the 5 wins, and then sometimes no, you don't need to go to 5 wins. It's a constant battle of,
But the goal is not to be blown away.
Right.
The goal is not. We go back to the visual of the stick of dynamite that blows up something, and then the thing is gone.
Exactly.
And so we don't want you or anyone else to be gone. You don't recognize yourself in that moment.
Exactly.
Because you're blown like that. And because think about it, if you blow up something and the pieces are there, if you try to put the pieces back together, the pieces are distorted.
And they're not the same.
They're not the same. So when you put it back together, it's not going to be as it was before. So every time you get blue blown, I don't know the tense here, which I'm using, when you come back together, you're altered.
Right.
And so when you get blue, you try to put, you settle down and all of that, the pieces are not the same. And so to minimize those things helps you from not being this distorted figure of yourself.
Yeah.
And so just
You put that together beautifully.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate that. This has been so fun. Yes. This has been so fun.
Part 2 coming soon.
Oh, God. Well, listen, I didn't even have to tell her she was going to come back. She didn't invite herself back. Well, praise the Lord.
And did.
And so I just thank you for coming on and hanging with your mama for a little. I mean, we hang together a lot. Like,
all the time.
Right, so, but coming here
right.
and letting the people
in her element.
In my element, and coming to just hang and talk with me for a while, I appreciate it so much.
Of course.
I won't call you your nickname on the video. I won't do it. I won't.
It's going public.
I know, right? I won't do it. I'll save it for when we are here. But thank you again for joining and listening to us. I really appreciate it. This has been epic. I mean it so very much. I appreciate you so much, Kristen. Thank you.
I appreciate you.
All right. Take care, y'all.
Bye.